grew up in New Jersey, so I'm with my, staying with my family, and I live in Syracuse, New York now. I grew up in Morristown, New Jersey, so it's about an hour to get here, and brought back a lot of memories driving this way. Well, I met your children today, and then you read the poem, the Newtown poem. I thought I would start by reading two poems that are about childhood, somebody's childhood, because probably like many of you, it's a really fascinating well of material to draw from for poetry. So I'll read two of those. The first one's called Refrain. When you are given a piece of black paper in school and taught to make a cube, you carry it home in your hand, and though it comes home damaged under the maples, you learn to press it with a strictness against your thigh to keep it safe at attention by your bed. Call it a cage for the evening, a cage for the pixelated dark in which move the night's infinite animals, who thrive on the inside faces of your walls, over your body, and dance on your 20 nail beds. Outdoors, in the broader shape of the neighborhood, larger versions shift across the streets and lawns. Street lamps light their haunches as if they can only be seen in retreat. 2 legs, an arm, and a glimpse of their backs. No faces or mouths. Like the video copies of your small frame you try to capture whenever you're led beneath a grocery store's screens. When you wake, your cube has unfolded itself to sunlight, to the dusting and wiping down of your room. You can play, but there are errands waiting for you in the afternoon. You know the routine. And then this other one is called Dialogue for Siblings, and I imagined it being a dialogue back and forth between 2 children at nighttime, kind of back and forth between the rooms. The rooms were kind of adjacent to each other. So the alternating voices are the 2 voices of the children. Dialogue for Siblings. What do you mean when you say that a sound falls between our rooms? I mean, it is the sound of a cup of night water falling between our rooms. But who makes the sound if we're not there? Do you believe there are things that can happen between our rooms without us there? Yes. Then there's a house, like our house, without any rooms, but with all the things you remember. The wood smell? Yes. The fingerprints? Yes. The vacuum carpets that made me feel hidden? Yes. The book about the people who wanted to be rich? Yes. The small cups that fit in our hands for filling with night water? Yes. And sometimes the night water spills in that house, and it makes a sound between our rooms. I'm scared that there are no rooms in that house. I know. Does it love us? Who? Whoever is in that house, who spills the cup. It does. Is it a woodcutter? Is it a woodcutter? Yes, I remember at night when I was sick, you'd go past my room and say something small so I wouldn't be afraid. And what would I say? Well, the woodcutter sometimes passes by. And the woodcutter sometimes passes by. Okay. So I'll read a poem that draws some imagery from the Turnpike, since I grew up here. I've always found the pine barrens really fascinating, like probably all of you as well. And so I draw from it. We draw from images from things I read and experienced from my poetry. So I kind of did a meld between classical mythology imagery and kind of commuter culture driving on the Turnpike. So this is called Centaurs in the Turnpike Woods. They speed away in their rental cars at night, leaving the woods bare and crackling with their discharge. I've seen the Centaurs using the light from their phones to shave along the scrub pine. If they hear the touch of a hand on a windowsill, they will zip up their toiletry bags and cower back to their champagne-colored sedans. They are difficult to see in their navy blue suits as they shift through the trees. And the earth sips, when no one is watching, the foam from the mouthwash and lather they leave in the dark with the flowers. Where is it? So we're in Dante Hall, and where is it? Dante taught me a lot about using information from different sources and trying to meld them together, since he was so smart and did so much with theology, astrology, and politics, science and math and art. So I wrote this poem, tried to incorporate a couple different experiences together, but it's an elegy for a friend. It's called Periphery. You are evading me. You are just beyond me. You are the length of the hood of a car away from me, and thinner than I remember, dressed as if undressed after work. I reach until I can meet your hand, but you are in front of me like the moon on one week, then behind me like the moon on another. You are trying to move toward the doors of a church we both know, and I won't let you. I step in front of you and you step to the side, saying, stay on the periphery and we'll be in touch this summer. But what's here that won't let me speak to you? That prevents me from letting you go inside, that makes you want to go inside? I tell myself, yes, I know I must stay here and lie whenever I try to retell the story. Once, two friends stood on opposite banks of the stream. Then there were men and a river, and then two ghosts, the story becoming more distant or strange, the more I fear the person listening. All right, I'll read one more poem. And it is a poem. That is just observations on the way to work. It's called Demolition. Thank you for listening to me. I appreciate it. Demolition. For a week, a detour takes me past the windows of an Econo Lodge. I invent what's on the other side each morning, beginning with what I know is there. An absent clerk, an empty lobby, some dark green carpet joined in places with duct tape. I had a chair for myself to sit and make the smaller arrangements. A door to a bedroom closed just enough to hide a figure inside. Open enough to reveal a bed that looks like a gurney, a wrist laying face up on the sterile and steamed white sheets. What am I intending to have happen here? I'm getting a feel for the lobby now. Within days, I learned to fix a sugar drink from sweetener packets in sink water. I place a styrofoam cup full in front of the bedroom door and watch for movement. By the end of the week, the detour signs are pulled, and my car is directed back to the highway, granting me another view of the demolished building the city was shielding me from. A crane now sifts through fragments and debris, sorting them into one pile or another. As it holds each piece of metal to the air to let it flicker for a moment, for me it is lifting the door, the bed, the sheets, the wrist, and the cup that should now be filling with an early sunlight on the floor of the motel. I watch in the mirror as each object hangs, then drops. My car approaches my building and work. I walk the darkened seafoam hallways to my desk. And when the people that I pass say, morning, I say, morning, too, so that I can't be certain who is waking whom. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for coming.